Welcome to my chow line. Today we're going to do a holiday classic pecan pie or pecan pie, depending on where you're from. But this is a great holiday classic, and since we're down in Georgia, we got to have some pecans, pecans, however you want to call it. But we're going to do it. We're going to be using grill your ass off seasonings in not only the crust but also in the filling. We're using Infidel just a little bit to get some smoky barbecue type flavor into it. We're also using the whiskey, smoked salt, and sugar. And then we're also using, of course, some whiskey, bourbon whiskey, Four Roses, really good. It's got nice mellow tones, got some good caramel, good sweetness to it. Let's get into it. All right, for our crust or pie crust, we're going to be using 1.5 cups of King Aurthur All-Purpose Flour. It's a half a teaspoon of whiskey smoked salt, a 1/4 cup whiskey smoked sugar. And this is the only time we're using this much sugar of the whiskey smoked is in the crust. We'll use a little bit in the filling, but mostly we'll use regular sugar because the smoke from the smoker will permeate the filling more. But the crust, we're going to get some of that in there because we're going to be doing a blind bake on it, so it's not going to have as much to adhere the smoked flavor to it. Pulse this up, and now we are going to add 1/2 cup of butter cubed. We're going to pulse this till it gets pea-sized. All right, now what we're going to do now is we're going to add, as we're pulsing it, we're going to add 2 tablespoons of heavy cream. And now we're going to take 2 to 3 tablespoons of this great Four Roses bourbon whiskey. And that is our dough for our crust. And we're going to roll that out and put it in our greased 12-inch skillet. Now this is enough for a 12-inch cast iron skillet, so just be aware it's got to be able to fill that skillet up. So you want to make sure you get it good and thin in a shape of as close to round as possible. Let me smell that bourbon in there. Ooh, it smells good. Got to address any thin spots, because this is the important part. The thicker it is in this, if it's too thick in one spot, it won't cook as much and you'll end up with a soggy bottom. Well, you don't want a soggy bottom. Just watch the Great British Baking Show. We're just going to take some of this extra pieces. Since it'll be served out of the cast iron skillet, so we're not really as worried about the edge, unless you're trying to do one of those pleated edges, which I'm not, because the more that's sticking out, there's the more that can burn. I want to keep as much as I can inside the skillet. All right, a little bit of extra dough. All right, for a blind bake, you want to use some weights. You can either use baking weights, little jelly beans or whatever, or you can take, and I happen to have a bunch of dried beans. So now this is ready to go in the oven. I've got my oven, or if you have a pizza oven, you can use that. Or if you're using a smoker, that's what I'm using. I got to get my smoker up to about 325 to 350, maybe 375, and pop this in for 375. We're gonna do it for 15 minutes. And then we'll do 5 minutes without the weights. But we're going to chill this real quick while our smoker gets up to temp. We're going to stick this in the fridge and let it chill. All right, now we're going to start on our filling while our crust starts to work in there. So we're going to take and we're going to whisk together 3/4 cups of sugar, 2 tablespoons of the bourbon or the whiskey smoked sugar, and about a 1/4 teaspoon of Infidel pork rub, and a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, the whiskey smoked salt, 2 tablespoons of cornstarch. We have 1/2 cup light brown sugar packed, and now we're going to mix those all together real good. Break up that brown sugar, and now we're going to take our cream, a 1/4 cup of heavy whipping cream. We have 2 tablespoons of our Four Roses bourbon, And with 3 large eggs. I like to do my eggs at room temperature. If you don't do that, let them get to room temperature before you use them. Helps everything blend better. We're going to mix that all up and beat that in there. You want to try to make sure you get all that brown sugar blended up real good. And then we're going to have 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. And just a smidge more, because I like it. We're going to let that combine. All right, so now we're going to have a 1/4 cup of melted butter to mix in here. Now we're going to take 3/4 cups of pecans, whole halves. Make sure those get coated on there real good. And then we're going to cover this, and when it's ready to go in, this is our filling. That's it. All right, in we go. I'm doing 2 since Thanksgiving's coming and we have a party to go to, family get-togethers. I got 2, but we'll let these go for about 15 minutes. Let the temp get back up to where it's supposed to be, and we'll pull them in about 15. All right, it's time to remove our weights and let it finish baking. All right, we're going to add our fillings. And we're going to come back and add a couple of pecans to the top. Okay, so I mixed up another batch of the filling and split it equally between the 2. And let's see how that does. If it goes over, it goes over, but I wanted to make sure it had plenty of filling. All right, so our pie is done. We're going to let it sit and cool off at least 30 minutes or 45 minutes or so that way it can cool down, and that way it's not molten lava. And then we will slice into it and we'll taste it, see how it goes. Nice quantity of filling there. I think it was a good call to add the extra half of the filling of another mix in there. So I'll update it in the description. We'll have updated ingredients so you know exactly what it takes to make this pie in a 12-inch cast iron skillet. All right, right away, there's the pecans have got the sweetness on them. There's a savory notes, and I personally get the mouthfeel in the cheeks from the whiskey in the back, just like the flavor of the hints of it. It's not strong to me. Try this your next holiday event. I'm probably going to tear into this. Everyone's going to love it. It's good, and if you like bourbon whiskey, this will be a hit. Cheers. Have a great time with your families, guys.